What's up guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we're having a first look at Realpolitiks 3. I've spent a little bit of time, a few hours, having an initial run through to try and get familiar with some of the mechanics and things, but this will be the first, that's why it says continue. This will be my first real dive in to the game in iron mode and that kind of stuff. Realpolitiks 3 version 1 has been released recently by Fulqrum Publishing. They gave me a Steam key to be able to download and try out the game, so thanks to Fulqrum, and we'll have a look at what's going on today. Not sure exactly how this video is going to take shape and whether we're going to do a series, but we'll just make a start and see where we end up. So when you start a new game, you have two different scenarios you can run. Standard is a regular campaign, just nice and vanilla. Climate War introduces a whole bunch of disasters. I've not run that yet. We'll stick with standard for the time being while we get used to the game, and then maybe we'll start running some Climate Wars later. So into standard, and now you can choose any country, recognized country on Earth at the moment. Pretty much there's a huge list, and you can type it in or choose on the map who you want to play with. I am going to make a start with the UK because I want to be relatively strong, but I don't really want to be like the US or China, who are likely to be pretty overpowered at the moment. So we'll start quite strong with one of the European powers, and if I'm going to do that, I might as well go with my home country. Got a description of what's going on, the statistics with the overall potential, which looks very high for the UK. If we just go to the US, I think 10 is the limit, so it's obviously really quite high for the UK as well. 99710. It's above France. It's about the equivalent to Germany because they've got a stronger military potential. So they are strong. You got your blocks, or your kind of organizations that you start with that match up to kind of the real world at the moment. So the UK is in the NATO and also in United Nations, and you can see the current member nations as well, and how they are structured. So NATO is a military bloc and a democratic bloc, and the UN is a political bloc and a democratic bloc. You can see the system. They're running a constitutional monarchy at the moment, with a description there. So yeah, let's dive in to the UK. Let's obviously name ourselves Wad Enderas. I will be a man, and yeah, fine, I'll be white. It's just for the portrait. Let's accept and get into it. Okay. First thing I want to do is pause while we get started. I'm not going to run tips this time around, but greetings, our new leader. You have risen to power, and now the nation's fate rests in your hands. Will you guide it to prosperity and shape a legacy that echoes through time? Will you create an empire that dominates Earth, and perhaps even seek conquest amongst the stars, bending space itself to your will? So late game is up in space is where you can colonize the solar system, which is pretty cool. Or will you be the scourge of this country, and your name will be forever detested by those who remember it? Hopefully not. Use the tools of diplomacy, war, economy and technology to shape the future. Forge alliances, crush your enemies, take good care of your citizens, and become the great leader you're meant to be. Lovely. I'm going to have tips off for now and just get started. So we've paused because there's a whole bunch of stuff we can go through towards the beginning to make sure we get off to a decent start. First thing, I'm just scrolling out. You can scroll around the map with your mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and then move around, of course, with left click. But if you keep zooming out, it will take you to the solar system view. So now we've got Earth, and if we keep zooming out from there, we get into the full solar system view, and you can select a planet and zoom in and I guess colonize these later on, which I obviously haven't got anywhere near that yet. I've only been playing for a few hours, but that's exciting and interesting to see when we come back to it. So let's go back to Earth, find the UK and zoom in. Now, there's a whole bunch of information. I'm probably not going to go through it all because I don't know it, so this isn't like a tutorial video. This is a first look kind of thing. But like a lot of RTSs, there's all sorts going on. So in the top, we've of course got our nation and some of the major clicks that you can do. We've also got our financial situation, action points, which are kind of like you need that as well as money to be able to do things, basically. Our mineral resources, our energy resources, and our rare resources. And then you also have here the concept of destiny points. Basically, you can use destiny points to speed things up or increase your chances of success in diplomatic situations and things. We have our manpower, fairly self-explanatory. Our GDP growth, so that's the expected change each month. Happiness index, I think it's called. That's the happiness development index, which is also a real stat. You want to keep that nice and high. If it drops too low, you can't do certain actions. This is a global influence level. You also need that to be able to pull off certain actions, and political stability as well, which has a positive or a negative effect depending on how stable your government is. And then these are the projects and technologies that you're researching at the time, which I'll get started with in a second. You have a ticker here, which is kind of like playing the notifications. And the UK starts with 5, and some of them are all negative. So we can start a war with Ireland if we want to, straight away, which is interesting. We'll look back at that. Somehow a new demand has landed even though time's not running, so let's go check that out. Various political parties can ask you to do things. So over here on politics, we have our political system, of course, which is this, and I'll cover some of this in a second. But we also have our parliament, which is full of various political parties that you need to have on side to be able to do certain things. So you need to lobby them to increase your relations for certain actions, because you need a majority vote to be able to pass actions, essentially. And so when they give you demands, things like the Socialist Party, they want us to still dissatisfied with the state of our social policies and issued us a new task. Although they ask a lot from us, the benefits would be remarkable. They want us to send... Oh! Damn it. So apparently if you click that button, it just sends it. Who knows where, but it just sends it. So I just lost a whole load of mineral resources, 15,000 almost, which I really didn't want to do. I was just trying to show you what happens. Basically, you have a long time, like you have an expiry date, which in this case is a long way into the future. Why? I'm paused. Time is running, but we're paused. Play, pause, please. So that seems like a bit of a bug. And then you get the rewards here, which 25 party relations is big because ours is currently over 17, only 17. But you first of all need to check whether they're even in your government. They are in this case, and they're quite strong, so worth lobbying. But that's annoying. I didn't want to do that. But now I guess to make sure that I get the benefits of doing that, I'm going to send the money as well, so that we actually get the benefits for only a year. So that's done. Other stuff we can start with. High debt is a problem. Our debt is massive in the UK. We've got running 2.4 million and we haven't got very much money. Debt does cost you, of course. You've got to pay interest. So debt currently is our largest expense. So the more we can pay off that debt, the lower that interest payments come down. We can increase our taxes, which I think long term will probably affect the happiness development index, and we can reduce or change how we spend on bureaucracy and the military administration. There's so much, because this is just on money. We've got our action points economy and how much things are costing us. We have our mineral resources and same all across the board, so you can get a full look at where everything is going. Is time still ticking, or has it actually stopped this time? It has actually stopped. Good. So the other thing I'm going to get started with is projects. When I first ran this, I had a lot of problems with money, which is another reason why I didn't want to just throw away half my stuff right at the beginning. But we'll see if we can recover it. I want to try and get my finances under control, but without sacrificing my military immediately. So that's why we've increased our taxes. I'm not going to lower these if I can avoid it. But what we can do is, if you go over to resources, you can, at the moment I'm not really like trading anything. So mineral resources I'm not going to trade because that's going down. Energy resource I'm not going to trade because that's also going down. We're using more than we're creating at the moment. But my rare resources is going up, and we have a good stockpile. So I'm going to drop down to rare resources, and I'm just going to trade them at a low level. And you can see how much money that will make us this first month. We dropped from minus 13 to plus 126,000. So I want to run that for a couple of months and just make sure we get our finances under control. I do want to take advantage of this war possibility, so I probably will do that soon, but not yet. Projects. This is what we want to do next, and to try and get money under control again. Although what I do know from my first run through is I think there's a mission quite early on to sign a defensive pact with a country, and you can't do that until you have defense policy researched. So I'm actually going to go straight into defense policy in the hope that that's possible. But you can see the requirements. So it costs cooperation, diplomacy here, costs action points and money. So that's what the action points are for. You can find out what effects you're going to have, reduction in personal control, and action, which is a diplomatic action. But also you can see that you need a happiness development index of 75 and be one of those governments to be able to do it, which is why I can't do this one, because you need to be one of those governments to be able to do it, and they're mutually exclusive. Personal control, actually that's a good point. Let's quickly go and look back at Realpolitiks and go to system. This is like the kind of like to match up with our constitutional monarchy. We want to have the green triangle, the current value, as close to matching up with the circled value as possible to make sure the system functions appropriately. So basically I need to increase my militarism significantly. I need to reduce my personal control, keep interventionism where it is, increase religiousness, and increase significantly my conservativeness to be able to make the system work as effectively as possible. And you can do that through various actions and technologies and things. So we saw this one is going to reduce my personal control by 3, which is good. That gets me slightly closer to where we need to be. It's going to take 70 days to operate, and this is what I meant with destiny points. I've only got 7, so can't do it much, but if you were able to max out your destiny points, it reduces the implementation time by 40%. There is also a maintenance cost, and here is what I said about the voting system. So you need a simple majority, so just got to breach 50%, but you need to have the parties on side to do that. So you can see why they are. So this one, Social Democrat Party are always going to agree. The Democratic Party will always agree. The Socialist Party apparently will always agree. That's for this specific project though. It's not always the case. And liberal conservatism aren't going to agree with us because we need 25 relations, but they don't matter with the majority. So confirm that. So that's this one, which is projects, and then we've got our research down here. So let's invest in a little bit of military. I'm going to go for advanced infantry training so I can get a bit more militarism and improve my infantry. so that we can start thinking about attacking Ireland, perhaps. Okay, so that's some early things up and running. We could go into looking at our cities and buildings that we could build, but I don't want to yet because some missions come in to build certain buildings at certain times. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm just going to hit play and we'll run from here. What I might do though is bring my military over to Northern Ireland in case we do want to launch an invasion soon. The other one, I think I have one down on the Falkland Islands. That's actually my main armies. Some of my main armies down here. I'd like to sail them back up because I'm not intending to do anything with Argentina yet. We'll see if that's a mistake and if Argentina are going to attack us. But let's see. Bring it up and also drop it in there. That should take some time, I suspect. Now, while the money's going up, what I do want to do is pay to increase their morale a bit, ready for when we launch an attack. Okay. We also have our aircraft, but what I've not been able to figure out with aircraft yet is how to make them really effective. They need to be based out of an airport. So you can see London has an airbase, and so they're based out of that airbase. Or I could move them up to here because there's an airbase, but I can't move them to say here. So can't move. Should be able to move up here. Maybe it's because the airbase is occupied. And so they can only attack things within range of the airbase, as far as I can tell. So I could attack northern France and Belgium, but that's it. And so I don't know what to do with all these assets that I've got sat here, because I can't do anything against Ireland, as far as I can tell, unless I build an airbase in, say, Northern Ireland. I didn't really mean to move them. But so they're now patrolling around that area. Let's keep them patrolling London for now. What can I do? So you can assign patrol mode, delete army, cancel order. What else? Oh, we now move to province mode. But yeah, I can't move them until there's an airbase, so they can move up to there, but nowhere else. Switch back to what? What just happened? Am I now what? Have I just inherited a new? I'm not sure what just happened to my I don't know why they ended up in Belgium. Please come back. Come back. I don't want so apparently I can move them to Belgium, but can't bring them. Come back to London. Okay, I'm not sure what's happened there. I'll try and figure that out later. Can I do anything from here? Army. This. Okay. Yeah. So I need an airbase. That's clear. So I can move to Belgium, for example. I can't move to that one, but I can move to that one. Could move to Paris, and can move up to this one in Scotland, but can't do anything here. Okay. What would be interesting, I guess, if I've got aircraft carriers, whether they can then be assigned to that, but that's later on. We have a block demand to construct military buildings, so they do want 2 new air bases. Let's pause for a second. Our military block, so this should be NATO, I believe, want us to build a military base and 2 air bases. And the Social Democratic Hospital want us to build a psychiatric hospital, but that requires a lot of tech. Projects, infrastructure, I believe. Nope. Culture and education. Here, okay. So under civic infrastructure, we need to get all the way down to psychiatric hospital, which is through these all the way down, and that will take a long time. So I'm not going to prioritize that. But we could, because what's the outcome? Plus 15 to the Social Democrat. Whereas this, we will get random units if we succeed. So I would like an airbase in Northern Ireland. So can I do that? Do I have a spare slot? Yes, I do. Military buildings, airbase. What's it going to cost? I'm allowed to build it. It doesn't cost too much, and the upkeep's fine. So I'm going to construct that. What else do they want? They wanted 2 air bases, right? And a military base. My other air base. So my military base, I'm going to put. I think there's another view. I can go to like province view, and so I can see what everything's got here. I think I'd like an air base. Off a little bit, so Cayman Islands or something, so they've got more presence, or in the Caribbean, I think. Doesn't seem unreasonable. St Helena's too isolated at the moment for my technology. Let's put one in the Cayman Islands. Airbase. And what was the other thing? Military base. Provinces. Where should we put a military base? Edinburgh could have one. It's got a rocket silo at the moment. Nice. Airbase in Dundee, airbase in London, factory, City Hall in London. I want to get some economy buildings in there at some point. Let's do a military base in somewhere in the Midlands. Just having a quick look at province unrest. Yeah, we want to save slots for these good things, so I'm actually going to put one in the Falklands. Because what does it do? Military base, monthly manpower, unit production time, for the whole country. Doesn't seem to have a specific province requirement, so that's good. They take a long time to build though, like 1080 days. And how long do we have on the demand? 1409, so enough time, but that's why I paused it for a second. Okay, but that's a long way off. That's 3 years before we see any return on those. My projects are going to end soon. With my small amount of money, I'm going to pay off a little bit of debt. Pay a loan. Let's pay off 60k for now. Projects, diplomacy, diplomatic corps. This time we need 100. Still reducing personal control, this time by 5, and we get additional action points. So we should have creeped closer in my personal control here, bringing it down towards 20. And we need to increase our militarism still, which we're doing slowly with our technology, but I think we can do it with our actions as well. So like maybe as we attack Ireland, for example, we should see an increase. Ireland so far bid of 1, 3 units. I have 3 and 3 tanks. Did my army ever come up from Falklands? Where are they? Okay. What just happened? Army, please. So Air Force, and then these are Army. Where are you? You're there. And so then we're just looking for these guys who are still working their way up by lots of things. Let's increase that. How far have they made it? Oh, getting there. We've made it up to Spain, so we're close now. Okay. That tech finished, so let's see what else we've got in terms of military tech and the like. Just do the cheap stuff for now, to be honest. So maybe I'll go, what's that do? Super militia and commandos. Air military tech, fighter Gen 2, which might have more range, I guess. Interesting, you can go straight into fighter Gen... Oh, aircraft Gen 2. This is jet fighter Gen 2. Okay. Wait, we can set up an institution? What's this? Constructo Corporation. Infrastructure projects are much faster, but everything else slows down. Okay, that's cool. We'll check on that later. Sea military, anti-aircraft, corvette. Where's the aircraft carriers? Must be down here somewhere. Aircraft carrier. Gotta go through the subs to get there. Okay, interesting. What else? Civic infrastructure and science infrastructure. These are good, but they're expensive. But they are useful things. Let's just go land military and get commandos. Anything else coming in here? Party demands. The Social Democratic Party also want hospitals, which I don't think I can do. We've got an additional block demand. Invite members. Our social block wants us to invite someone. That's a problem because our social block is the United Nations, and there's like 2 countries on the map that aren't part of the United Nations. I'm just going to remember how I did that before. Blocks. Oh, no, okay, this one's NATO wants us to invite members. That's easier. Oh, I also want NATO to be researching stuff. So let's have them research military exercises. Everyone's in favour of it, so let's just confirm that. But here you can track the tasks from the block. Who do we want to add to NATO? I think I can do something like diplomacy can be invited to the bloc, and these are all that could be invited to, like, NATO in this case. Can't remember. Norway, are you NATO? You are. Sweden, are you NATO? No. So we could work our relations with Sweden and invite them to NATO, for example. So bloc. Invite to a military bloc, create a social bloc. Why can't I do that? Need relations of 60 or higher. So let's improve our relations instead. Relations, improve relations. And it should improve our relations by 30 at the cost of our influence, which is still stuck at 88. Because that's our limit. I don't know how we increase our influence limit. Okay, what else we got going on in here? Actions in implement, yep. Improve relations, block integrators. That's the other thing I just set off running. Oh, and while we're there, let's have a look at the UN and see what integrators we can do with the UN. Environmental, to reduce our province pollution, or reconstruction, which makes everything more expensive. Anti-block pact. It's not going to let me hover over that. GDP growth and monthly inflation reduction. I'm definitely going that. That seems like a good thing, and everyone's in favour. Takes a long time though. Let's go. Okay, have Ireland been recruiting? We have one. They've just got officers, not many people. 3 now, I guess. There's a bit more. And 2 down there. They have been recruiting. So I might have to recruit as well. I want to go recruitment. Select the officer that you want them to move into and add someone. Their strength is very high. Theirs is high. His isn't. So let's get you some... What have you got at the moment? How do I find out what they've got? Overview? Smith Taff. Just 2 militia. So I can add to their militia by giving them some... Oh, that'll be expensive. But why not? You have some Gen 3 infantry and this is my tank. Tanks master. Dawn is slow. Yeah, and Smith Taff, I want you to have my infantry. Have another one. I don't know why you're so slow, Dawn. Okay, what do we have? We succeeded in our improving relations with Sweden. So let's see if that's enough to get them in the bloc. Bloc, invite to a military bloc. So maybe. The probability is only 60%, so I can boost that with Destiny to make it more likely. Let's make it 80%, shall we? And see if we pull it off. So in 20 turns we'll find out whether they've joined the bloc and whether we get benefits for it, I guess. Autosave. I don't know where the expenditure... Like, I know I've just bought some troops, but the... you see the earnings goes down drastically every month. Ah, that's because my rare resources are plummeting. So if I go back to economy, I'm selling 25% of the entire stockpile every time. Anyway, a meme depicting our government in an insulting way has been getting popular. Normally it's not a big deal, but now even activists and opposition politicians are using it publicly. Let them be, it's their right. Reduce their action point income for the best part of a year. Label it as hate speech and use it for our propaganda. We get a lot more destiny points, but it knocks our stability, which I really don't want to happen. Let's try making our own meme about the opposition. Increase our party ideology, get action points. Yeah, I mean, let's do that one. So I didn't realize that selling 25% of my entire stockpiles. So let's go back to very low, and I'll be losing some money, but at least I won't be obliterating my stockpiles like that. Energy, it's still going down, and mineral resources are going down. Damn it. We've got undergrowth, action points, GDP, small increase. Okay. I can do buildings for that, but I want to make sure. Oh, that's nice, good. Oh, what have we got under other problems? Construct economic buildings. Who's asking us to do that? Our cabinet wants us to build a bank. I want to do that in London. Can I? I can. What happens? Costs a lot. Takes a while. Unemployment goes down. Bonds go up, and our debt goes down. But we do have a slight increase in our monthly inflation. Ooh, this is a close one. Social Democratic do not want it, and you have to be very popular with them to get it put in. But you can see it changes who always agrees depending on the action. What happened? Did we get... We did. We got Sweden into a military bloc. So Sweden is now in NATO. I'm going to launch my attack on Ireland. Because why not? Military, no, aggressive. Oh, why can't I? What's happened? Why can't I start war now? Ah, damn it. Alright, projects real quick. Diplomacy. Last one to get that defensive pact in place, and there's a bunch of other benefits. Conservatism goes down. Need conservatism to go up, but militarism going up is good. We get the defense pact, and destiny points monthly goes up, so all good there. Why can't I declare war on Ireland anymore? Let's find out. War. Why am I not a neutral country? Have I been declared war on? Also my relations are too high, but I can just decrease relations quickly. Except I can't. Well, my idea of going to war has gone out the window. So in that case I want to now decrease this again because it's costing me money. On all of them. I'm going to bring my expensive tanks back over to England. You're already low. Okay. Right then. What should we do next if I can't go to war now? Let's check out social buildings. They want suburbs and apartment blocks. The trouble is I don't have unrest, so it's not that useful. So they're underway, not happening. Why did that not finish? Don't know why that didn't happen. Well, because it's wrong. So I think this is another bug. It says our social block, but then the actual mission is in our military block. So which is why I've invited them to my military block, but the mission's social block. I can't invite anyone to the social block. There are two. I think Northern Cyprus is one. So let's try that instead then. Let's go to Northern Cyprus. Are you in the UN, Northern Cyprus? No. So let's block. I can't even invite you to a social block. Only a political block. Do I need to create a social block? Who do I create a social block with? Well, if I can't attack Ireland, let's create a social block instead. So relations, improve relations, 75% probability that we get plus 30. Okay. I'm sad that my money's going down. Show possible developments, so you can build things to increase that, but I need to research all of those things, I think, with the exception of high-speed rail, maybe. If I'm not going to war anytime soon, I think I'm going to have to reduce the upkeep on this, because it's expensive. And I can also, economy... I can reduce the spending on my military administration. Although it wasn't very high anyway. My bureaucracy expenses are high, but I don't know what reducing that does. What happens if I maximize taxes? Anything in here? Policies, debt management, national debt. Can we manage from it in there? In the lower panel. So my GDP is HDI plus debt plus trade. What? Okay, interesting. Well, I'm not sure. Right. We can do a new tech. So let's do a science infrastructure tech. What do we got? Action point income, reduction in pollution, astronauts, and that's it currently on the science. What about civic? Stock market, let's build a stock market. These just let me build everything. Natural resources mine could be good. Population growth and annual HDI. Let's go blood banks then. Were we successful with Ireland? Yes, we were. So now can I create a social block? Confirm. I didn't check the odds. It's a shame. Economy summary. Yeah, my bureaucracy expenses are high, but I don't know what that does. City Hall. Oof, not sure. So I don't really want to drop it if I don't know. Arms. The church has made a formal request to the government for financial aid. I'm sure we can spare some. Increase our religiousness, which I do need to do, but increases unrest. The church is doing God's will. We must help them the best we can. Well, obviously I'd go that one over that one. We do not have such expenses budgeted. Well, I mean, there is literally one right answer here for me. So that's what we're doing. Trying to, because it's down here, large dispersion in political parameters is this thing, and we're trying to close these up. So religiousness we just chunked up a bit more. Right, what happened with Ireland? Not there yet. GDP growth is still growing, so that's okay. Destiny points are up at 50. Energy resources, we suddenly used less. Maybe that's because of the downgrade in our military spending. Same for mineral resources. I think that's what that was, because aircraft has mineral resources in the upkeep. Okay, what else have we got going on in here now? Other problems still. Okay, we created our block and I got an achievement for it. So let's pick a flag for the UK and Ireland. Some odd flags to choose from. I can't pick the EU. I probably shouldn't pick an African flag or a Arabic flag. Is that Mexico? We could pick Wales just to upset the Welsh. Yeah, right, let's have the Red Dragon, because Wales is just part of the United Kingdom in here. So, who can we invite to our social block? A whole bunch of people. I don't know if I want them there though. So if I now go blocks, we've got our Welsh flag. So that also didn't work on the invite members, by the way. What can we do? We're currently elective, and the leader pays maintenance costs. Ugh. So I'm the leader until 2011, so I'm paying for it. Right, what have we got on open borders? Can scroll down because I need that pop-up. Come on, where's the pop-up? GDP growth, okay. And this one, emigration factor reduction. Well, starting with GDP growth, opening the borders with Ireland. Yep, lovely. Block demands. Invest in communities. More. It's I can definitely do that action point. What do I get? Unrest for 10%. Might come back to that depending on the financial situation, because I can definitely do the action point, so that's no problem at all, but money is a problem. That's fun that we've got a social block now, so I probably shouldn't attack Ireland anytime soon. We're going to be able to do defense policies, but this is the first time I haven't been told to sign a defense policy with anyone. So once this is done, I'll go to more economic based things to try and get our financial situation under control. Or to try and bring these together. So I do need to increase my militarism by a lot. Still reduce my personal control. And massively increase my conservativeness, because at the moment I'm still not sure what the effects are though. Like I've got all of these effects, and are they bigger if the various bits are closer? I'm not sure. Something to discover. Alright. We're at 50 minutes. I think when we get to the hour we'll take a break for this session, but let's see. Okay, I want that to finish. And then I want to think about who I can attack. Of course. Everyone around here is NATO, and I think if I attack them, then I get attacked by everyone. So, infrastructure or economy, I think. Let's have a quick pause to run through these. Because these are all quite cheap. So at the moment we're running private energy, which increases our energy resources and reduces our interventionism. But what's it costing me? Quite a lot every month. Whereas what does state energy do? Even more energy resources and reduces unemployment. Interesting. But it costs more money. Does it? 0.07 versus 0.05. It does cost more money, so we'll leave that for now. What if we do energy sector regulation? Small amount of money. Increases the happiness development index, but does reduce increase cost of living. Interesting. Energy subsidies. It's relatively cheap. Population growth, reduction in unrest, but it increased my inflation. My inflation is high. Alright, what about water companies? They won't let me go that way. Privatized? They will let me do privatized, which just decreases my interventionism for happiness development index. What happens down here? Yeah, okay. Right, what other options have we got down on public transport? We can do highway gates for an increase in taxes, and doesn't cost us any money to keep running. So that's quick as well. I'm doing that. That's quick. But while we're here, electric vehicle support, what's that going to do? Just increase cost of living for happiness development index. Still not sure what that actually does though, other than like allow me to do things. Right, what about my railways? I can't implement that. Oh, I can. Expensive. What do I get? Reduction in unemployment. Private railways. Cheap. And unrest reduction. Okay. Why can't I do... Oh, I can, sorry. Expensive urban airports, but what do we get? GDP growth and pollution. Free public transport, cheap. Increase in immigration, that's good. Whew. And what if I go to economy, because I do want money? Agricultural subsidies, cheap. Unrest and inflation. Organic farming would be possible. Expensive. Reduces pollution. Industry regulations. What have we got? State industry. It's expensive. That's expensive. But it increases our mineral resources by a lot. I'm not allowed to do it though. Private industry, not quite as expensive, but I do get some mineral resources again. 10% increase in mineral resources. How much would that do? Another 20. So it wouldn't tip me over the edge. But maybe. Right, what have we got? Investment support. Action point income. I don't really need action points, especially not for that much money. But what happens further down, like so stock market is something that is I think supposed to be quite good. Investment tax breaks, doesn't cost any cash. Reduction in tax income but increase in GDP growth. Could be decent. Stock market, expensive. And basically I can do something with stock markets. My bureaucracy expense will go through the roof. Woof. Sustainable tourism. Yeah, not doing that anytime soon. Trouble is, I need it for commercial, for these kind of things. What do we get for state holidays, for example? Just massive unrest, reduction, commercial space flights, increase in taxes, and tourist. There's so much stuff. That's a nice one. Tourist attraction exploitation. Or crushes my HDI. But I need conservatism. Obviously need all of that stuff. Well, I think I'm quite happy going infrastructure first for the time being then. Natural environment is all going to be cost me money, I think. But, oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's run on time a little bit more as we round off the hour. What just happened? My HDI just dropped. Oh, we cycled at the end of the year. So because the year came to an end. Pause. Because the year came to an end, my HDI dropped. I thought things were monthly, but they're not. So HDI did drop, but my influence pool and total influence went up. My finances are back to being slightly positive. Interesting. My GDP is looking good at the moment. Alright. My political stability jumped 2 points. That's why. What? Why did that happen? But what that means now is that's why my influence went up. Okay. I'm pretty confused by the end of the year, but what do we got? Funeral invitation. Our friends invited you to come for a state funeral of the head of their country who had died after a long illness. Courtesy demands your presence. Of course I'll go. Improves my relations with Estonia. I'll go if there's an opportunity to meet important people there. Seems to be the same. And nah, massive reduction. Let's just go, of course I'll go. Right, well, I guess with the turn of the year, we've just done one full year. Let's have a quick run through the demands. We've got same problems, party demands are new. What do they want? Social Democratic Party believes that the new policy explained in their task would help promote their goals. Although they ask for a lot from us, the benefits would be remarkable. They want to change the constitution and take money. Changing the constitution isn't a small thing. You can do that over here with constitution, and you can change. So we're currently obviously a constitutional monarchy, and I can try and change that to any one of the other things. But you can also do the individual kind of doctrines, and I think they wanted me to change the social doctrine. Was that right? Social doctrine to socialist heaven. So if we go back in here now, find social doctrine. We're currently on no welfare. It's not very good. So we're currently on no welfare, which improves my GDP and stuff at the cost of HDI, population and unrest. Or I can move to one of these three, which would increase my taxes for unemployment. That's quite good. I might move to pensions and welfare, although I do like GDP growth. Public healthcare, which does population growth at the big expense of taxes. And socialist heaven, which is what they want me to swap to, is expensive to do so. So I'm not going to swap to that one. Are they even going to let me swap to these other ones? I could go to pensions and welfare, yes. What's that? Is that political stability, maybe? Public healthcare they will also let me go to, and socialist heaven they will let me go to. So I think I might go to pensions and welfare and just get the taxes. That's quite big. Instead of GDP growth. Although I don't, if that's political stability, I don't want to take a hit on that at the moment. So we'll ignore them for now. We're not doing that one. So can I remove it? Get rid of it. What else have we got in here? Block invites. I'm not attacking the US anytime soon, so let's invite them to our block. Invite to a social block. And let's get them in because I've got a lot of destiny at the moment. Yeah, let's get it higher. 90% chance the US will join our block. Who else aren't we attacking? Can invite Ireland to a military block. Oh, because they're not part of NATO, so I could invite them to NATO now. Don't know if I want to. The war possibility with Ireland's back on. Why? You're lying to me. Yeah, they're lying to me. Get rid of that. Alright. Well, I think to wrap up the hour, I'll probably take a break there. I'm enjoying the game at first look. It's quite complicated. It takes a while. Time runs. Obviously, you can run time faster, but I don't want to at this stage. There's technologies and stuff and finances to stay on top of, which is a struggle. Militarily, it's a bit challenging to figure out how to do things. If I had more money, by the way, because I've got rocket silos in like Edinburgh, I can produce nukes, but they cost money to keep. So maybe next time, next episode, I want to figure out if I can attack anyone, and we really want to get our finances under control. Maybe having the US in our social bloc will help, and having some of these things complete, like the environmental pact should help. Nope, the anti-block pact should help with GDP and inflation and all that good stuff. So with that, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.